Hello and welcome to Show Up, Stand Out online visibility series for entrepreneurs. My name is Juliet Stapleton. I'm a visibility strategist, and my guest today is an internationally known and recognized digital marketing strategist, Ashley Buffa, who consistently pulls in big wins for her clients. Yes! Hi, Ashley. How are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm great. Thanks so much for having me, Juliet.
I am so delighted. And not only I'm delighted to talk to you about digital marketing and Facebook ads or chatbots or whatever we're going to go into, I want to just address the elephant in the room here. You are a mother of 9 children.
9, yes.
I'm a mother of 1 child who is 18 now, and I'm so relieved she is, because that's where I drew a veil. How are you doing that? And what I just said before. How are you doing all that?
I like to be busy. I'm not very comfortable with free time. So,
You would think nine kids is enough to fill your free time.
It's not. Once you have the right systems in place, it's like, easy.
Brilliant. So you are a systems person then?
Oh, I couldn't live without systems. I couldn't have my children without systems or a business. So yeah, I'm a systems gal.
So that would explain Facebook ads, and that would explain chatbots. Because you have to have that kind of mind that is good with flows and imagining them and systems and, kind of following up. Whereas my brain is a little bit different, so I kind of need a person like you by my side to be performing properly, because I'm sort of, intuitive and winging it, but, inspirational, but not, I have systems, but they're very intuitive systems. I sometimes can't even explain what I'm doing. Or
the bird's eye view is kind of, the most helpful thing, being able to zoom out and look at the whole picture. So yeah, that's the way my brain works.
Interesting. So how long have you been doing this, and what made you internationally known and recognized? Wow, that's good.
Yeah, well, I started my online business, about 6 years ago, and I started working with self-publishing authors. That was kind of the space that I entered into. And so a lot of those authors are international. So internationally known. I would get them to the bestsellers, top of the bestsellers list on Amazon. And so that's kind of where I cut my teeth. And then I moved into more of the Facebook ads and social media and all that stuff. And that's where I'm loving life right now. So
Perfect. So we were talking about, well, actually not that we were talking about, but in preparation to this interview, we were discussing topics that we can bring. And there's one thing that really stood out to me, and it was the fear of Facebook Lives. Yeah. So tell me your view on it. Did it ever affect you? I don't imagine that, but maybe, who knows? Yeah. Tell me the story.
It's funny. Up until about 3 months ago, I was terrified to be on video, not even live video, any video, period. I did not want to do it. I didn't want anything. I was terrified. Even like putting a selfie up was too much for me. But I knew that if I wanted to be successful in the digital marketing space, I had to get visible. But even knowing that, I knew that for probably 4 months prior to actually pulling the trigger, I was absolutely terrified of it. And so what I ended up doing was I ended up watching a bunch of Facebook Lives about Facebook Live, about going live and getting over your fears and the equipment, kind of prepping myself for it. And then I decided, okay, it's now or never. And so I just started doing it. I booked a bunch of Facebook Lives with different people, and I started doing it, and it got easier and easier. And today I absolutely love it.
Brilliant. I witnessed this with a program that I have, Fearless Video Marketing, where I take people who are like that, terrified and, feeling like they're not ready, they're not prepared, they need to get all this equipment and, but actually it's all about just practicing it. And what you just mentioned, it's a brilliant strategy if you feel uncomfortable doing something on your own, because it is a little bit more, not difficult, but it's a confidence thing. Do interviews. Yes. It's so much easier because you're just chatting to somebody, and there's not going to be a situation where there's never a situation where everything stops and you made such a big mess. You can always come out of the mess, isn't it?
Yes, and it's good because it's accountability. If you make an appointment to do a live with someone or do even a podcast, that's something that you have to stick to, right? So you have accountability. You would be letting someone down if you chickened out. And you have the camaraderie, which makes it so much easier just to get on with somebody and not have to come up with the content all by yourself, but just to be on with someone else who already kind of knows the ropes. So yeah, it's a, I'm not going to say it's a brilliant strategy, because that
No, I think it's a brilliant strategy. I took it a step further when I started. I just started my own show.
There you go.
But it's true about consistency, because, the biggest obstacle in growing your visibility is not being consistent. And not being consistent comes from not committing to yourself, not being accountable to yourself. So when you're announcing publicly that this is what you're doing, and it has to be, say, twice a week that you're doing this, you kind of can't not do it.
Right.
And even at the start, that not many people are watching, or if there's anyone is watching. But you know what, guys, I've started this show. I started this show last year. It was called Easy Chat at that stage. It was rebranded this year. But I started that, and I didn't really have a big audience. And I was bringing some interesting people at the time. They were ahead of me, and in a way, then I started getting business from people who were watching my shows, and I didn't even know they were watching. And that's an interesting thing, because I think a lot of people are waiting for some sort of validation. So if they speak, if they go and they say something, unless there is a comment or somebody reacted well, there is no validation that they did the right thing.
Right.
But it's not necessarily going to happen. So you need to have a different mindset about it, isn't it?
People are always listening. And even if they're not watching you today, they could be watching you a week from now, or 2 weeks from now, or even like a year from now. It's kind of planting those seeds. And people love doing business with people that they feel like they know. And there's no better way to get to know someone than to hop on video and be yourself and unscripted. That's the thing about the live, it's not scripted. You can't.
Yeah, I have to add to this. You know what? Being visible on live videos, including these shows, actually improved my relationships with my current clients, who, when they met me, I wasn't doing any videos and wasn't doing any kind of online visibility for myself at all, and it completely changed our relationships altogether, because apparently they're watching me. I didn't know. They are kind of focused on client attraction, but people are watching. And there's another tip that we can give to our listeners as well. Not everybody, younger people are more used to commenting and engaging, and the older the audience, the less engagement there will be. So you need to remember that if you're targeting somebody who is 45 plus, they might be just not trained in a way to even hit a like button or comment. They're still watching, they're still paying huge attention. I even have my own clients who are watching my videos, as I said, who are taking note of the tips that I'm giving, but they never once like or comment on my videos, or engage with me on a live video. And that's okay as well, because as you said, the Big Brother is listening, the world is listening.
That's right.
The universe is listening, and the more you give, the more the universe will start giving it back to you in its miraculous ways.
Yes, it is. And, I got an email from someone 3 weeks ago from one of the original lives that I did, where I felt like I was just stumbling through it. And it was, I was so nervous the whole time. And I was talking about chatbots on that live. And this person tracked me down. They had just come across it. And it started, a great conversation. And this person was probably going to end up being a client within the next few weeks. And, even though I felt like I was probably flubbing so badly, I was still giving valuable information. I was planting seeds, making those connections. And today, like months later, it's, something's coming from it. So you just never know. You never know who's listening or who's going to listen.
Or where as well. I also had a situation where I did an interview in a private group. So I was invited to just talk about personal profile and how to use Facebook, through the personal profile. I was very sick at the time, and I think I had like something on my lip. My lip was a huge size. So I had to wear like a really bright lipstick, and I made my eyes really dark. And I felt like for the whole hour I was talking and nothing made sense, and my host was taking notes, and it was freaking me out, because I was thinking to myself, I'm not making sense, and she's taking notes, and she's what's going on. I had 2 private clients from that one video that she then posted on YouTube. I never even did YouTube marketing at that stage. And, you know, this is amazing. People, the world is there. And, you know, those people who are meant to get attracted to you, they will find it'll just come to them somehow. And you get that connection, no matter how you feel at the time, that you're making sense or not, because most likely you are making sense. It's just your brain starts sabotaging yourself. And, you know, and then you get more people. The most important thing though for the live videos, guys, or any kind of videos, is just when you're talking, make sure that you're also thinking about, you know, building your list or building your Facebook group. That you have like you don't have to sell on every video, you know, at all, but you need that, you know, call to action, because you want to bring people into your chatbot audience. You want to bring people into your emails. So Ashley, what do you do when they got into that system? Why do we need these two things, chatbots, email marketing?
Yeah. So, you know, make sure if you don't have a chatbot, that's okay. You know, you don't have to have everything when you get started, but have something. Go ahead and have something set up for capturing email addresses. You know, the simplest checklist that you can provide some value. You don't have to spend like hours and hours on it. You don't have to hire a designer. You know, just something simple. It's better. It's so much better to just get something done than to wait until it's perfect, because it's never going to be perfect. And then you're only hurting yourself, and you're hurting future clients that really need to get hooked up with you by not making yourself available. So you need to have at least one way. It can be super simple for people to, you know, get in touch with you. And if you don't have any of that and it feels overwhelming, then make sure to invite them onto your Facebook page, or even just to like you on your personal profile. Have some way to connect with them, and then continue to nurture that relationship. And then when you are ready, you can say, okay, I've got an amazing printable for you. Come on over, sign up, but make sure you're inviting them to extend the relationship instead of just cutting it off.
That's so true. As you said, even if you don't have a website, or if you don't have chatbots, if you don't have anything, you can take these relationships into personal messages, personal conversations. It's the best part is the personal conversation. And through just really genuinely finding out about each other, you can then see if this is someone who needs what you have. And then, you know, you can use my checklist and optimize your Facebook profile, so then they will know communicating with you. And people who communicate with me, they know I'm a visibility strategist. So if this is something they need, we can take that conversation into visibility very quickly. You know, you don't have to go far. You know, I was just thinking while listening to you about another tip we can give to our audience, and it's about creating the freebie or creating the checklist, because a lot of people get really intimidated and they think that they need to provide something absolutely extraordinary. However, remember that somebody that you are helping with are probably much lower in the knowledge of that area than you, right? So you really need to give something so simple and so basic, and you will be surprised how those basic things will bring you much more people onto your list or into your system or to connect to you than things that too complicated. Because, you know, usually people who connect to you, they might, well, not usually, I know that you should have 3 levels of freebies: complete beginners, people who are kind of ready, you know, as a cold traffic, warm traffic, hot traffic, you know. But it's still important to remember, because in my experience, this basic checklist would do so much more for nurturing, you know, for creating the list and building it, then those 2 other levels when they're warm and hot, because then they just go and talk to you.
Yes, exactly. The key is just to start somewhere.
Exactly. But the chatbots is an interesting thing, because it's relatively new and it has something that email doesn't have. And I'm not talking about the fact that it goes into your phone or something and you open it. It's so much more personal, isn't it? You can really do so much. So tell me what you can do with chatbots as a fun factor.
I love chatbots. I really do. I think of them like they're cute. That's how, when I'm building a chatbot, I'm infusing personality. I'm infusing whimsy into it. It's where you go to have fun. And because you're having fun, you're doing a better job connecting. So the best way to do chatbots is to ask lots of questions in your chatbot. You know, you could have, let's say you could just have a random question one day, like, Are you a dog person or are you a cat person? And depending on which one they choose, then send them like a funny dog meme or a funny cat meme or something like that. The key is asking lots of questions, getting micro commitments so that you're training your audience to engage with you.
Exactly.
And then you can start asking questions that have more to do with your actual business. So you can, in between the funny little questions and the funny little memes that you send, you can ask like a market research question. And because they're already trained to answer your really simple questions like dog or cat, they're going to go ahead and answer the other ones, because the chatbots that you interact with often are the ones that you're going to continue to interact with. The ones that are just always sell all the time. I don't ever interact with those. Like, I don't even care. I just, unsubscribe or just ignore them.
I agree. This kind of speed, should say speed, that you start getting really blunt to some of the chatbots, that even when they feel like they are engaging, I can see some of them, maybe they think that this is very engaging, but their ratio of selling and getting me to buy something from them versus the just engaging part that doesn't ask me to do anything is like, it's 80% selling, 20% fun. But if you swap this around, that can really, really work, and I should take the leaf out of my own book and, and do a little bit more of that, because I have my own gifts on Tenor now. I love them.
Yes, you're golden. Like the funny thing is too, it's so much easier to do those really quick, really engaging posts than it is to like write sales copy, right? So why are we spending so much time writing sales copy that's not even effective when we can actually raise the effectiveness of the sales copy if we're doing less of it and posting fun, flirty things a lot more, which that's the fast stuff. We should be doing more of the fast stuff, taking more time with the slower things, and that will raise the effectiveness of the slower tasks. So
that's absolutely true. Guys, I think that there's so many nuggets that you got from this interview now, and definitely chatbots are great. You can get somebody like Ashley to help you install them, and they're not super complicated. You can get your head around them, or you can create sequences that go automatically. You can create broadcasts that just go one off, but there is a lot of fun you can have, because you can put pictures in, you can put GIFs in, you can put videos in, and now you can charge people on chatbots as well, because it integrates with ManyChat. I know integrates with Stripe.
Yes.
Which everything becomes so much quicker. You don't need to send somebody else outside Facebook. And yes, there is an argument, of course, if something happens to your Facebook profile that you lost everything you have. So capture emails as well. That's what I always, do like double it up, because, it's not about people just reading your chatbots or just getting your emails. And it's also not about bombarding them, but it's actually about awareness and just putting your name into their minds, whether they're on their email. They might not even be opening and reading your emails, and that's okay, because then they will see you on social media with an engaging video, right? And then they'll listen to that video, and that will bring them. Exactly. It doesn't matter if somebody reads or not, because giving is always, it's a rewarding exercise, giving this, writing emails, doing chatbots. Don't get hooked up on how much people respond to those.
Yeah,
because there's magic that goes beyond that.
There definitely is. It all works together.
Exactly. And if you take Ashley's advice and you start using more flirty little funny things, there's so many binary things, true or false, and they have to choose something. You can, and more of that, less of selling, then selling becomes much more authentic and powerful.
Exactly. Right? You want to gamify it, just make it more of a game, more of a something that you do for fun. Let me go interact with this. I want to know what they have to say today. What GIF is going to be at the end of this sequence. If people are waiting to get your chatbot messages, you're doing it right.
And in that case, you can draw inspiration from so much. You can follow some things that are humorous, pages that are humorous, and just occasionally just take their jokes. It's okay, you can share them in your. It doesn't have to be like a super original stuff. You can just share funny stuff with people. So it's good. You don't need to reinvent the wheel here.
Not at all. Not at all. Think of it like if you have a friend, and whenever you come across a funny meme on Pinterest or on Facebook or whatever, you copy it and you send it to that friend. That is the kind of conversation you want to have on your chatbot. Like, oh, I came across this today. You guys have got to see this. This is so funny. That's the kind of conversation you want your chatbot to be having.
Exactly. This is genius. Ashley, thank you so much for sharing this. This is a brilliant tip. We should all go now. Oh my God, my poor audience, you're going to get some gifts from me now because I love that. I am very wacky behind the scenes.
I love gifs and memes. I live by gifs and memes. I have way too many of them saved on my phone. That's like how my storage gets filled up, is because of all of them. It's not pictures of my 9 children. It's all of the memes that I have.
It's so funny. Yes, and as I said, I've created my own gifts. So if you are on Facebook on the gift search and you put Juliet Stapleton, oh my God, some of them I regret putting up. But then now I'm just going to go with it because I don't know how to take them down. So I'm just going to leave them there. But I absolutely love them. And they're also creating such a connection with people and putting space into their minds. So
it's all about that connection. That's the most important thing.
Before I let you go, do you have anything for my audience, a link, a gift, or anything they can tap into?
Yeah, you can actually go to my website, which is ambientpromotions.com, and you can join my chatbot, and you can see I have a bunch of funny gifts inserted into it, so you can kind of see how I've laid everything out, kind of get some ideas for your own, and but that's how you can get into my own chatbot. And I have a case study that's also you could sign up for, but it's for the finance industry, so unless you're in finance, it's probably going to be kind of boring for you, so you'll have more fun on the chatbot.
Perfect, but it's also great to just see what you're doing. I sign up to some chatbots always to just see what they're doing, but sometimes I end up being a customer even because I just get so engaged. And yes, it's the power, and it's brilliant. It's the power of connection and the power of creating these relationships that you need to focus on. Right, well, that's the end of our show. Thank you so much for watching. Ashley, thank you so much for being my lovely guest today. And guys, if you have any questions, pop them in the comments and we will come and address them if you have anything. And you can also hook Ashley up on Facebook, and I'm going to put the profile. Well, you will see her. I'm going to tag you. So, right, yeah, that's it. And that's it for Show Up, Stand Out. Thank you so much, guys, and have an awesome day. Bye.